Hey, good day. This is Robert Brown with the Rob Report. How you doing today? Sorry I haven't been up here like I normally am because I'm in the process of moving again. I want to talk about something real quick before I get up out of here. You know, wealth is one thing, rich is another, and being white is a whole nother. But when you're wealthy, rich, and white, you're in a whole different world. Even black wealthy people don't participate in the world of the white, wealthy, rich world without white, wealthy, rich people allowing them to participate in it. And a lot of times they participate in it just to kind of pull you along to make you think you're part of the club. Case in point, Larry Ludlow. Larry Ludlow is the economic secretary for Donald Trump. Yeah, a wealthy, rich oligarch, one of Trump's buddies. Let's take a look at Larry Woodworth. Let me bring you up on the screen real quick. Give me a moment. Larry Ludlow. Larry Ludlow is worth about $10 million. Now, $10 million may not seem like a lot to people who make $100 million in Congress, like Nancy Pelosi, and most of the Republicans, half the Democrats, all are wealthy. And most of them are more than 10 million. Nancy Pelosi herself worth $150 million. So you wonder why she don't fight for you as much as she could. I can go back and forth on the wealthy people that sits on both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats. And you wonder why they don't feel the urgency to do something for a person who makes $40,000, $50,000 a year when Larry Kudlow's salary is $800,000 a year as economic secretary. He's not missing that. Now, it's not $800,000 a year as economic secretary. It's the money that he get from being in business. See, unlike the president, you don't have to give up your corporation or your business if somebody called you to be on the cabinet, part of the team. You don't have to give up your business. Now, according to this, Larry Kudlow net worth is $10 million. They say he's an American conservative economist. He is our economic secretary who got y'all gassed up, especially you Republican nutwings, you Trump huggers, thinking that if the stock market is doing good, then the economy is doing good. And if the economy is doing good, the people are doing good. Nah, bro. Nah, it don't work that way. It don't work like that. They base everything that they're going to do for people, regular working people, based on the economy. Now, when COVID hit and we went into hyper mode when it came to COVID, the economy dipped very bad. Now we knew it was going to happen anyway, but it dipped very bad. Let me bring myself back up here. I am up here just to let you know. Right. I'm having problems with this thing. Give me a moment. All right, so the economy dipped very bad. I mean, very, very bad. And give me a moment. So, of course, Trump got to keep his image of a winner intact because a lot of people are believing that crap. So, image is everything to him. Stock market is up in the green. Good. That means the whole world is doing great, and it's because of me. Nah, bruh. Main Street is all in the red. Right now, we still got millions of people unemployed. Millions of people don't have enough money to put into the market. And the only way you're going to keep this economy stabilized is you got to put money in the hands of the people, because people will spend the money, which keep the economy going. The problem is what happened with George W. Bush. He put a little money in the hands of people, and it kept the economy going. But at the end of the day, everything just fell through. The bottom of the barrel got cracked open. The same thing is going to happen again. This is why Joe Biden can sit in the basement and don't hardly come out, because Trump is hanging himself. Joe Biden is not beating Trump. Joe Biden's not even saying anything. Trump is just so horrible that he's beating himself. He's defeating himself. And Joe Biden think I could just slide. No, Joe, you got to get out. I'm not a fan of yours, and I'm not a fan of Trump. But you got to get yourself out and show that you are for the people. Don't just talk. Because your record definitely doesn't show that. Your record is long of harming the working class. Long at harming black people. If it wasn't for Barack Obama, you wouldn't have never got that makeover. So you better be thanking him till your dying day. But Trump is just so horrible, man. Just horrible. Then he got this person right here as his economic secretary, Ludlow. Cutlow. I keep calling him Ludlow, but Cutlow. A little bit more about Cutlow, because I'm getting to the story. I'm getting to the point. I'm just ticked off on what he just recently said. So when you're about $10 million, you're in a whole you're wealthy and rich. He's wealthy. He has $10 million, but he's rich because of the world that he lives in. Because he lives in a world that even with $10 million of net worth, you can do anything you want. Larry stock holdings and other liquid assets were worth a minimum of $2 million. That's just liquid assets and stocks. His disclosure does not include liquid assets such as personal real estate. He has a ton of real estate, and a lot of that he's done with Donald Trump. It also showed that he earned around $800,000 a year from CNBC, an additional $100,000 to $200,000 per year from paid speeches and consultant work. So he's getting $800,000 a year to show up on a business television show. $800,000. I can't even get $1,000 on this show. And another $102,000 a year doing paid speeches and consultant work. For many years, he was best known for being the host of CNBC's The Kudlow Report, The Larry Kudlow Show on CNBC, and WABC Radio, respectively. Larry stepped away from the private sector in April 2018 to become Donald Trump Director of National Economic Council. Now, understand, these are what you call liberal outlets, Democratic-leaning outlets that are producing Donald Trump cabinet. It's not Fox. Now, Fox is bad all on their own. I call them Sly Fox. Got nothing to you. See, this is why I say you got to watch these slick people. These slick, sly snakes that say they're for you and they're going to bite you in the back or bite you in the butt in a minute. Larry Kudlow Show, CNBC, MSNBC, WABC Radio. Another celebrity entertainer who Trump got to know when NBC decided to put The Apprentice on television. Keep telling you, Trump is not a conservative. He got y'all fooling. Trump is his own political party. Conservatives follow Trump because Trump has a following. And they need Trump following to survive. It's the same thing with the Democratic Party. See, the Democratic Party, they want Bernie Sanders following. They need Bernie Sanders following to survive. If Bernie Sanders following do not show up at the polls, I don't care how many black people show up at the poll for Joe Biden, the chance of Trump winning is still good. And I don't like neither one of these turkeys. And I can say that. You can't? That's your problem. I don't like them. Both of them are lying, racist, bigots, pathological liars with rape allegations. Let me get to the point of the story. I'm not going to go through it, but let me go through. Early life, Lawrence Allen Larry Kudlow was born August 20, 1947 in New Jersey, a blue state. Kudlow studied at a private school, Elizabeth Morrow School, and Dwight Inglewood School in 1969. He earned a degree in history from the University of Rochester in history, not economics. He then embarked on his career as a staff economist at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York in 1970. He was already working on Joseph Duffy's U.S. Senate campaign along with Bill Clinton, John Podesta, and Michael Medved. These are your Democratic lions. Trump's economic secretary worked side by side with Bill Clinton, John Podesta, and Michael Medved. A year later, he got into Woodrow Wilson School of Public and International Affairs at Princeton University, where he studied politics and economics. In 1987, Larry Kudlow became Bear Stearns' chief economist and senior managing director. He was let go. Listen to this. He was let go in 1994 due to cocaine abuse. So our economic secretary, the guy who handling the finances of the United States, is on that white powder. He's on that coke. That white horse. That booger sugar. But y'all trust this guy with the economy. Now, I can rat him down. I can go through this whole thing, but I'm going to get to the point of the matter where I'm up here. Because Larry Kudlow, according to Axiom, and I'm not a fan of Axiom, Axiom lies a lot. And look, me, I'm a type of person, you know the motto of the Rob Report. The motto of the Rob Report is, where the truth shall make you free. I'm not lying for nobody. I'm not lying for no Democrats. I'm not lying for no Republicans. I'm not lying for none of ya. I'm not taking sides for none of ya. Because most of these politicians are a bunch of con artists. I'm not lying for you. I'm not covering up for you. Some of you people covering up for Joe Biden. Some of you people covering up for Trump. Come on, man. That's not going to help this. It don't make things better. You trying to cover up. Here I am. I'm uncovering that Larry Kudlow is a cocaine head. He sniffed that stuff. He couldn't do crack because, wealthy white people don't do crack, because the crime on crack was a little tougher back then. He apparently skipped an extremely important client presentation because of his addiction. So that booger sugar had him sold up. Now, this is the guy that Trump picked to run our economics. That's why Trump, despite how horrible he is as a president, need not to listen to this guy. Nobody need to listen to that guy. Because the moment he probably went up to that podium, he probably snorted some coke. They say once a cokehead, always a cokehead, right? Now, I don't believe that. I believe people could change. People can beat cocaine and, I believe that. But what evidence do we have that Kudlow, this coke snorting, look at that nose. Look like half of his nose got cut off from snorting cocaine. He only got one nostril. He done sucked the other one in with the cocaine. Let me get out here and stop messing with y'all. My point is this right here. Let me see if I can bring this article, because this article really ticked me off when I read it. I'm trying to find that sucker. I think I lost it. I think I lost the article, people. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Larry Cocaine Snorting Kudlow, Cokehead Kudlow, Larry the Cokehead Kudlow, recently went up to the presidential podium in the Rose Garden and had the nerves to say this mess out of his mouth. Larry Kudlow say, I don't believe there is systematic racism in the United States. Now, bro, you got to be on some of the purest, whitest cocaine ever made. And how they get it in the White House? Then again, they call it the White House for a reason. Probably all kind of cocaine in that place. But let's listen to him, because I wouldn't believe it, because Axios lies so much. They'll do anything to shame Trump. And I keep telling you, you don't have to do nothing to shame that guy. The guy shame himself. Stop lying on him, because some of that stuff you're saying is lying. Like about the hydroxychloroquine, you lied on that guy. You ain't talking about the other 2 medicines he's taking. You lied on the guy when he told you that people are using it as a prophylactic. When I done showed you studies from 4 different hospitals that they're giving this stuff to people, to their nurses, as a prophylactic while they're dealing with people with COVID. But you lied saying he lied. Now, don't get me wrong. Trump ain't. You probably think he the devil. See, the devil's the father of lies. He could tell you the truth with a little twist in it. That ain't Trump. Everybody can tell the truth sometimes. I don't care how bad they are. Trump pathological lie, Joe Biden pathological lie, but they still has the ability to tell the truth and will. But here's Larry Cocaine Kudlow said, I don't believe there's any systematic racism in the United States. And I wouldn't have believed it until I heard it on video. This is why I tell people, until you get the man saying it on video, and even then you got to really check it. But until you got the man on audio or video, don't tell me what somebody said in print, because you can make that stuff up. But we got it here on video. Let's listen.
I don't believe there's systemic racism in the U.S. I'm not going to go into a long riff on it. Black employment increased 300,000. Did you know that? You did? Yeah. Right. So that's a big win.
So he don't believe there's systematic racism, and his first proof that he wants to use, Exhibit A, or let me say Exhibit C, the cocaine in your nose, is black unemployment rate went up black employment rates went up. Didn't he say 3,000%? Let me go back and listen to this. This line. And then he gonna say, did you know that? What that got? Let's say it is 3,000. What that got to do with anything, man? What they got to do with anything? The reason blacks are getting jobs because they should be able to get the same jobs as whites as anybody else. There should be nothing in the way except for qualification. That's it. I don't qualify. I can't be a Secret Service because I never worked in law enforcement and don't want to. I wouldn't qualify to be Secret Service. And you don't want to pick me as Secret Service because some of you people, I'm definitely moving out the way of somebody trying to shoot. I probably push you in front of me because I'm not dying for you. This rich, wealthy white man who lives in a whole freaking other world had the nerves to say he don't believe there's systemic racism in the U.S. Of course you don't believe, man. You're a rich, white, wealthy guy. You are the poster child for white supremacy. Of course, you're going to say that because you never experienced it. Let's play that again.
You did? Yeah. Right. So that's a big win. And the black increased 300. Black employment increased 300,000. Did you?
So he said black employment increased 300,000. When everybody just lost their job, just about everybody lost their job. Thank God for everybody who's able to work from home, work on the go. Our essential workers, thank you for your services. I mean, even though we're having this heated relationship with the police department, it's not with the whole entire department. It's the system in the department and certain police officers that think they're above the law. But we thank them for their services. We thank firefighters and everybody for their services. So when the market opened up and people getting jobs again, of course it's going to go up. Now, my question is, did it go up past the marker before COVID? No. And that's the talking point that they're going to push you, that the economy is expanding, the economy is coming back, we got record job growth. Of course, if you lost 10 million jobs in a course of 90 days, and then all of a sudden in 1 week you gain at least 1 million of those jobs back, you can claim that as job growth. No, that's job growth for the month, because we went down to almost 0 to now 10,000. That's not job growth. That's called job recovery or job bounce back. It's not job growth.
Know that? You did?
Yeah.
Right. So that's a big win. And the black employment to population ratio went up over a percentage point. That's a big win. I don't believe there's systemic racism in the U.S. I'm not going to go into a long riff on it.
You can't go in a long riff on it because you have you can't go into a long riff for it. You ought to be ashamed of yourself to say that. You can't say that and you're not black. You only can speak for, you can't even speak for white people, man. Because every white person don't have the same situation. You're a rich, wealthy white guy, man, worth over $10 million. You're getting $800,000 a year just to show up on TV. Your circles are not everybody's circle. You're on a pedestal, man. You're this guy, man, this guy. And then he got the nerve to make comments on blackness. And it's fake proof of whether there's systemic racism or not.
Black employment.
Black employment. Let me calm down. Let me bring myself back up so I can look at you guys. See, I'm trying to stay calm. This cocaine head, just like Joe Biden's son, they probably did cocaine together. Trump economic secretary, cocaine head. Biden's son, cocaine head. Daughter, you cannot make a statement like that. Anybody who listened to this fool and believe that there's no systematic racism just because the economy is doing okay for black people. It's not doing okay for black people, number one. Until there's true equality among blacks and whites, systemic racism is there, because it's systemic racism that is causing the huge gap in equality, in financial equality, in social equality, and you name it. Systemic racism has always been here and ain't going nowhere until we, the people, come together, decide to wipe it out. Until we, the people, come together, decide to deal with white supremacy also. Because that is the thing that is causing the systemic racism. It's people mindsets that you cannot vote out. You cannot remove out. It's a mindset. And you got to deal with that mindset. And one of the things that deal with that mindset is to criminalize it. Now, you're going to believe whatever you want to believe. I don't think you should criminalize somebody's belief. But once you take action on what you believe, that's a different story. Certain things should be criminal when it comes to dealing with white supremacy. Just the thought that you're supreme over another person is bad anyway. But here we got Larry, the cocaine snorting, the booger sugar sniffing. Our economic secretary, how in the world did you not? I know Trump get to pick his cabinet, right? But don't that cabinet has to go before a committee? And the whole entire committee got to vote on whether this person can be part of the Trump's cabinet. That committee is made of Democrats, Republicans, and a couple of independents, right? How in the hell did this guy end up being our economic secretary? It's because Democrats and Republicans sided together and made this guy the economic secretary. Why? Because Larry Kudlow used to be part of the Democratic establishment. He was part of that Democratic media establishment. They knew Larry Kudlow, so they didn't think nothing was wrong with him being in there. All right, so he snorted a little cocaine. You know, Obama say he inhaled on purpose. Bill Clinton said he didn't. Dude, cocaine and weed is not the same thing. You don't need no cokeheads running anything in this country. And cokeheads will say make cokehead statements like, I don't think there's no systemic racism in America. And cokeheads will use the economy as the excuse, or Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C for cocaine. Now, I'm going to hit Larry Kudlow Twitter, and I'm going to shame him as much as I can. And I invite you guys to do the same. You got this media personality from NBC, the home of the progressives. I say they're the home of the progressives because it seems like Chink Uger and Michael Brooks and, well, not necessarily Michael Brooks, but, you know, David Pakman, all these guys trying their best to be on that show. The network that brought you Larry Kudlow, our cocaine snorting economic secretary, under the Trump administration, has made a asinine statement. And when I say asinine, he looked like an asinine making that statement. That there's no such thing as systemic racism in America. And my proof is, look at the economy. Man, if you don't go somewhere with that stupid mess, the economy don't determine whether racism is in America or not. It's a factor, but it doesn't determine. In fact, the matter, economy is not good for black people. In fact, the matter, economy, black people not having the jobs on an equal level as whites. They oftentimes get turned down for jobs based on their color. You just don't know it. They'll find any other excuse but the color. All right, let me get off this. Larry Kudlow, man, he need to shut up, man. Man, you guys, when you hear people talk like this, you got to push back, because later on I'm going to talk about Black Lives Matter. Because Black Lives Matter, we're in the streets yelling Black Lives Matter, but don't get it twisted. I don't support Black Lives Matter, the organization. I don't. I support ADOS. And I'm going to tell you why whenever I do the next Rob Report. All right, I'm Rob Brown with the Rob Report. Remember, the Bobby Brown Show takes place 11 p.m. on Sunday nights, live on Facebook and YouTube. It's a once-a-week weekly show that I'm going to do from now on. This will be considered a Rob Report in this kind of fashion. But, yeah, this guy right here, this rich, wealthy. Not this guy, boy. I wish this guy was rich and wealthy. Larry Kudlow, rich, wealthy media personality, birth from MSNBC and NBC, actually made a statement that he don't believe systematic racism exists in America. And you wonder why Trump is such a dimwit sometimes when it comes to issues like this. You know, since Trump had any balls, any guts, he would tell Larry Ludlow how wrong he is. Because he knows, a white supremacist knows there's systematic racism in America. They know this because they make sure it is. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Don't be fooled. It exists. And it's people like Larry Kudlow that make sure it exists. I'm Rob Brown with the Rob Report. Peace.